On September 18th, the House Oversight Committee convened a high-stakes hearing on Washington, D.C., bringing Mayor Muriel Bowser and Councilman Chairman Phil Mendelson face-to-face with federal lawmakers. At the center of the discussion, crime, public safety, and the future of self-governance in the nation's capital. Watch the top moments right here.
I know taking $1 billion out of our budget would kill us, in terms of our ability to deliver services and fund a police department. Can you talk about what that meant? It is ironic. It is ironic that the same people who cut $1.1 billion out of your budget 4 months later are saying, we're going to take over the city because you're not taking care of law enforcement.
That's correct, Congressman. And it was especially problematic because it came mid-year. To cut $1 billion with 12 months is bad enough, but to cut it with 6 months, it's almost impossible.
And Mayor, tell me where that $1.1 billion, where did it come from?
It came from every one of our sectors. And when you have to cut that much money.
The source, was that from D.C. taxpayers?
100% local dollars.
Okay, so they cut $1.1 billion of the tax money paid by D.C. residents.
That's correct.
They cut that from your budget so that you can't provide as much law enforcement and police officers to patrol these streets. Is that right?
That's right.
I'm going to ask you a simple question based on the question you were just asked. Do you commit to use all that money to hire law enforcement people?
We commit to using it for law where it was cut primarily. We have
I just need to know yes or no. Will you, because you're making a big deal about wanting that money for law enforcement. Would you use it for law enforcement, yes or no?
Well, Congressman, we want the money because it was approved by this Congress and it's our money.
Thank you.
We want it for law enforcement.
I take that as a no.
On August 11th, 2025, the day the president took action here in D.C., Councilman Allen said this: the president taking over local control of the MPD and putting the U.S. military onto the streets of D.C. under the guise of public safety is wrong. It's an extreme, outrageous, and dangerous move for our city and the safety of our residents. Do you agree with that statement by Councilmember Allen, Attorney General Schwab?
I do believe that the presence of thousands of armed troops in the district has been a problem and counterproductive for public safety in the district.
Counterproductive, dangerous. He said the second sentence, dangerous move for our city and the safety of our residents. How is 85% reduction in carjackings dangerous for the city, for the city's residents?
I don't believe that.
Chairman Mendelson, do you believe that do you agree with Mr. Councilman Allen's statement?
Well, if the question is about the National Guard reducing carjackings, I don't think the National Guard was involved in reducing carjackings.
I'm asking about this statement. Do you agree with Councilman Allen's statement?
Could you repeat the statement again?
President taking over local control of the MPD and the U.S. military on the streets of D.C. under the guise of public safety is wrong. It's dangerous, outrageous, and extreme move for our city and the safety of our residents.
If you'll recall, at the time that he said that, the order from
the day it happened.
Yes, the order from the Attorney General was that all orders within MPD would have to be approved by.
How about you, Mayor? Do you agree with the councilman's statement?
But would have to be approved by the DEA. I know, but I didn't finish my sentence.
Well, I'm
it has to be approved by the DEA.
Mayor
That's
Bowser, do you
complete
agree?
disorganization.
Mr. Jordan, I think this statement is not what happened, actually. So the Home Rule Charter allows the president to make requests of MPD through the mayor. It does not allow the president to take over MPD, which at no time happened.
Well, I'll just point out that it seems to me you disagree because you said just 2 weeks ago, we greatly appreciate the surge of officers that enhance what MPD has been able to do with the city. We know that when carjackings go down, when gun use goes down, when homicide or robbery go down, neighborhoods feel safer. So it's like Councilman Allen doesn't know what he's talking about. Looks like you definitely disagree with him.
We, having more officers enhance the effectiveness of MPD allowed us to accelerate crime reduction.
In Section 3-703 of the DC Code, you use the phrase, the intersectionality of gender and race to create unique dynamics and effects. Can you explain what this means to the committee?
Where is that, ma'am?
Section 3-703 of the DC Code. Do you know what that means? No,
could
you
you give
don't
me
know
the
what that means.
title
So
of the-
Chapter 14D of the DC Code establishes
Mr.
the
Chairman,
commission.
I'm happy to answer questions.
Mr.
but
Chairman,
I
I'm going to
can't-
reclaim my time. This is not her time, it's my time. You can be quiet as I ask you questions, and then you can
recognizes
answer them.
Ms.
And then you can
If
answer
you
them.
would give,
I'm not, Mr. Chairman, this is my time, not hers. I'd like to reclaim my time.
let's make good use of the time, Ms.
Chair
Mays.
I'm making very good
Chair
use of my
recognizes
time.
Ms.
There
Mays.
is-
You're
Ms.
making
Mays
my
has the
point.
floor.
You're the mayor of DC, and you don't even know your own code of laws. What is a birthing person?
I would assume it's someone who gives birth.
All right. Why don't you use, are these women, are these moms? You think it's appropriate to call them birthing person? Can a man birth a person?
Well,
Be a
that's
birthing
what I
person?
would call it, but I don't write all the laws, and I'm not familiar with every
Can
section.
men get pregnant?
No.
Can men become women?
Can a man become a woman?
Yeah. Can a man become a
you're-
woman?
Miss
Yes
Mays,
or no? Can a man become a woman? Yes or no?
Miss Mays, I'm not here
Okay,
to
my
talk
next
about
question,
that.
DC is different than other cities. DC is unique. Our founders, there was mention of the Boston Tea Party, the ones who were actually there, wrote the Constitution and said that DC should not be a state because it houses the federal government. And it would be important for a state not to give undue influence over the federal government. We
If you
saw
read
this
the
during
Federalist
COVID. Excuse me,
Papers,
I'm
they say
talking.
nothing about
Excuse me,
denying
sir.
us the franchise.
Sir. In September 20th, Capitol Hill Baptist Church was denied a permit to worship outside because of COVID-19, yet we had a number of Black Lives Matter protests in this community. The concern I have is when Washington, D.C., access to the nation's capital is prohibited or curtailed in any way. Could you explain to me, Mayor, why the church was not able to have a worship service outside, but yet the Black Lives protests were unable to go on?
You're talking about the public health emergency?
I'm talking about during COVID, Black Lives Matter protests continue to happen in Washington, D.C. With no retribution from the city, yet churches were not allowed to worship or worship outside even.
Yes, I think that matter was litigated and it's resolved.
Well, yes, COVID's over, but the point is that you have a city basically defining who has access to the nation's capital. And there were times where there were going to be a Trump rally and somehow restaurants got closed down that weekend and those sorts of things. Why was this church not allowed to worship outside, yet Black Lives Matter protests were encouraged by the city?
My recollection is
I mean, you went
that,
as far as to paint Black Lives Matters across the street.
yeah,
This is.
I want to answer your question. My recollection, and while I don't remember the specifics of that case, is that it fell under our large gathering prohibition in the early stages of COVID.
But Black Lives Matters were okay? Were they not large enough? They weren't violent enough?
You are probably referring
too
to
violent, maybe?
outdoor First Amendment gatherings that were not.
Worship service falls under the First Amendment.
And as I mentioned,
I only have a couple of minutes left, and so I'll just point out that the $1
litigated.
billion you're asking for is in the CR that's on the House floor this week. And
For more congressional news, stay tuned to Congress Clips, and thanks for watching.